Hello everyone, welcome to part 3 of this recap. Please remember to like and subscribe. A waiter is seen going to deliver dishes to the governor's room, but hears some weird noises and opens the door. He is shocked at what he sees and drops the dish. Fellow waiters rush to him to ask what had happened, and they too are shocked to see both governors having fun. The waiters are even more shocked that they are doing all this while their head bleeds out. One of the waiters records it in hopes that it goes viral. Meanwhile, Officer Xia is seen watching the tapes of the hotel. The manager points towards a strange man who had entered the room. Officer Xia knows exactly who that is and yells at Tien for always messing around. The next day at the bank, Tien approaches the same cashier and tells her that he missed her so much. She thanks him for all that he did yesterday. Tien asks if she will go to dinner with him, to which she replies that she will after work. He keeps flirting with her and she asks if he needs anything else as she's quite busy. The woman behind tells him to hurry up and withdraw or deposit whichever he wants. He feels nervous and asks her to cash this check for him. The cashier is shocked to see a 30 million check again and thinks that he is really wealthy. In the hotel, Miss Cheng wakes up as she immediately looks at her clothes and thinks that maybe those two governors assaulted her, and she starts to cry. She even checks to see any signs of force, but she couldn't find any. She thinks that a man did appear and maybe it was Tien who saved her. She had a voice recorder on the entire time just in case, and she plays it. She hears a man saying that she shouldn't have gone to drink with those and that why did she do all this for the company. He also ordered medicines, and Cheng thinks that this is her fiance's voice and hears her own voice trying to seduce Tien as well. She hears the entire thing from how she wanted to seduce him and how he did not want to take advantage of him, and she is so embarrassed. Cheng thinks that maybe that Tien took advantage of her while she was sedated, as he would always take advantage of such girls. She says that it's pointless to talk about any of this and that she needs to focus on how to deal with Governor Zhu so that she can repay the bank. Just then, her secretary rushes in and hugs her. She was worried and was trying to reach her but couldn't. She asks if the two governors did anything bad to her. If so, she will call the police. She tells her that she is fine and that someone had saved her. Her secretary then shows her the video of the two governors having fun. Cheng is surprised to see this and thinks who could have done such a thing. She also tells Ms. Cheng that someone had sent the company 29 million. Cheng asks if it was a client, to which her secretary says that they have no client who owed them this much. Just then, there is a knock at the door and police enter, and they ask her to insist the investigation regarding the Governor Zhu's assault. Later on, we see Tien, who gets up early to answer the door, and to his surprise, it's Officer Xia. She asks him to put on some clothes and not act as a pervert. He teases her, saying that is she amazed with his body. She says that she just wants him to come to the station and give his statement, as he is suspect in the Governor Zhu's assault case. She then asks her to give him a break and that she keeps calling him down to the station and that she should give him some relaxation as they are so attached. Xia tells him that she is here for evidence and will investigate, so Tien agrees and tells her that he will come with her after putting on some pants and puts them on in front of her, which pisses her off. She tells him to get in the car, but he tells him that he doesn't like her ride and that he will take his own ride, and brings out his bicycle, which shocks Xia. He gloats about it that he accidentally found it and bought it, and that he would never sell it even for 5 million. Tien tells her that he is going to meet her there. Xia follows her behind his old bicycle. Pedestrians laugh at him for riding such an old antique bike. Even Xia was embarrassed. Tien locks his bike, to which Xia tells her that his bike won't be stolen from the station. He ignores her questions and says that she doesn't know its value. He tells him to go in and that another person is there for the same trial. He enters, and as Cheng is shocked to see Tien there. They both look at each other. Tien asks if she is up, to which she says that how else would she be. Tien is hesitant, but Cheng yells at him that she couldn't find him, and does he think of her as a toy? Tien apologizes, and Officer Xia tells them that this is a police station and to resolve their private matters somewhere else. Later in the cafe, they sit and talk. Tien asks if she is happy to be engaged to him, but she asks him to answer her first. That was he the one who saved her? He tells her that it was him and he was there by chance. She asks him how he found her and why he didn't take advantage of her. Tien replies that he just happened to find her, and that she would hate him if he took advantage of her like that, and that he was sorry for what she had to go through. She asks about his medical knowledge, to which he says that he just came across a remedy. Tien asks that she hasn't answered his question yet, that is she happy to be engaged with him. Cheng starts to cry that how could she be happy. She said that he had the main role and yet he left her all alone. Tien tells her that they should break off the engagement, which shocks her. He gets up and says that she won't be happy with him and that the company is hers now as she deserves it more than anyone. Cheng is speechless. Tien tells her that he will need some time to collect the documents and he will talk to her after a couple of days at her home. Later at night, Cheng keeps thinking about all this. Her mother asks if she is okay. She has been acting weird since she came back home. Her dad asks her as well. She tells them that Tien wants to break off the engagement. Both her parents ask what about the company. She tells them that it will be hers. Her dad is happy that at least he is good for something and that his daughter is free now. Her mom tries to change her mood by saying that her sister is coming back and they should celebrate, but she says that she needs to be with herself. She takes a shower and thinks that Tien is completely different than before, and even though she is free from that bastard, but she can't seem to cheer up. The next day, Tien visits Cheng in her house. Cheng's parents are amazed that Tien is here on a bike and that he used to always buy a car above 1 million, but now he is riding an old bike. Even Cheng thinks that he is different. He tells her parents that he is here to break off the engagement and that he is no good for Cheng. He explains that she has been suffering since she has been engaged and now's its time to end this relation. Both her parents are confused. Her dad asks if he knows what he is doing and does he plan on going back to the Yi family. Tien says that he has no intentions to follow those people and he can't live like that. Her dad asks then why has he left the company to Chen. He throws a file saying that she deserves it and that she is the on who has made all these efforts, so she will be the owner. He tells Cheng to sign the papers and the company will be hers. She says that he can leave it and she will read it when needed. Her dad yells at her that it's a fair deal, that the engagement is finished and he never touched her, so it's a perfect deal for her. She tells her father that she knows what she is doing and asks Tien if he was the one who transferred the money. He tells her that it was her. She questions him that why cancel the engagement and still help her. He tells her that it was compensation for atonement. She yells who sends 29 million as atonement. Her dad gets shocked hearing the amount of money and feels a pain in his chest and falls down. She quickly gives him his medicine and tells him that he shouldn't be excited and why he did that. Her dad tells her that any one sane person would react the same after hearing 29 million and his chest starts hurting again. Cheng wants to take him to the hospital, but Tien tells him that he can fix it. He uses his technique called huage to apply pressure on some points that relieve the pain. Tien writes a prescription for him and guides her to give him this 3 times a day every week. Both of them are speechless. Tien tells them to look at the prescription, not him. Her mother asks if he was a doctor. Tien says that he just picked up a medical book and learned a few things and left. Cheng seemed interested and thinks that he is playing a game with her and drops the paper. Cheng goes through his files and understands that the Yi family is quite influential in this city. He learns that the original owner of the body may have looked like a playboy from the outside, but he was bullied and looked down upon by his family. Tien thinks that he should seek justice for him since he is now using his body. Tien knows that even if he does nothing, someone will interfere as it's related to the inheritance as well. He thinks that now that his company and finance are gone, he has to find a way to earn money in order to cope with the Yi family, and the aim at the moment is to make money. Tien goes to his ex-company and everyone is shocked to see him there. He goes to see Cheng, and they are shocked as well. He asks if he has signed the papers yet or not. Cheng grabs him and tells him that she doesn't have what he needs and that he needs to come with her to meet an important client. Tien is shocked as well while Cheng drags him. Tien thinks that she must be crazy as she is not accepting the company for free. Even the secretary thinks that she hates him, so why is she taking him to meet the clients? They go to meet the clients at a hotel. Tien notices that her fiance was actually very hot and that it was a pity to break off the engagement. Cheng tells him that he has to help her today and drink lots today as he used to drink a lot, and he agrees. They meet Miss Zhang, the manager of an international group in China. He greets them and asks them to sit. Tien is shocked to see 8 bottles of liquor. Miss Zhang goes straight to the point and tells them that they should drink and that he can recognize a man's character after they are drunk. Cheng tells Tien that he needs to drink with him, otherwise their business will be in trouble. Miss Zhang takes it a step further and tells them if any of them can beat him in this drinking game, then they win. As Cheng agrees, Tien asks how big the order is and she tells him that it's 10 million and that they need this deal in order to survive, otherwise the company will be finished. Tien cooks up a plan and asks Mr. Zhang to raise the stakes to 50 million instead. And as Cheng gets worried and hopes that he doesn't lose this deal, Miss Zhang tells him after drinking these 2 bottles that if he can continue, he will add 5 million for each glass he drinks after this. And Cheng says that he is just joking and that you shouldn't take him so seriously. Miss Zhang asks if she doubts his sincerity. That is, Cheng says that it's not that, but drinking 1 bottle is already more than enough, but 2 bottles is pushing it. Tien tells her to give him a chance and that he likes risks. Miss Zhang asks who the man is to her, to which Tien replies that he is her fiancé, but he will break off their engagement tomorrow. Cheng thinks if she hates her at much if you want to break off the engagement that quick. Tien tells the secretary to get the new contract ready and that he will be right back from the bathroom. He goes to the bathroom and eats some medicine and is ready to start. He comes back and tells Mr. Zhang to just wait and watch. Tien picks up 1 bottle and starts drinking and finishes 1 bottle. He loved the taste. Cheng asks if he is all right, to which he says that if she gets this close, he won't be. Mahjong is impressed and asks him to continue. Shin picks up the other bottle, but Chang tells him to be careful and not force himself. He asks if she is worried for him. Chang blushes and hopes he dies from drinking, but she doesn't mean it. Tien drinks the other bottle as well. Chang is super happy as she has 15 million now and the company will be saved. Tien keeps drinking one bottle after the other and ends up finishing all the bottles. He tells Mahjong that the deal was 50 million and hopes he doesn't forget. Mahjong says that he's fairly impressed with him and asks to bring the contract to sign, and he leaves. Chang is so happy that she hugs Tien and can't believe what he has done and asks how he did it, to which he tells that he got possessed and nothing more. Later at the company, Chang thinks if he really is his fiancé. He has acquired medical skills, is a good drinker, and didn't take advantage of her on that day either. She thinks again if she should sign the agreement to break off the engagement. Just then she gets a call from Hao and asks if he is already back or not. They meet for a coffee and Hao asks how she has been. She starts to cry and Hao tells her that it's fine and she can cry. Chang tells her that Tien was missing and he left the company all alone and she was distressed. He tries to console her, but she says that she is fine, which shocks him. Hao tells her that he came back for her and that she should leave her fiancé and go with her. They both could enjoy the life that they had imagined. Chang is shocked at what Hao has said. He tells her fiancé doesn't deserve her at all. She asks him to change the topic, but he keeps telling her that they have to talk about it. He wants to take the chance he wasn't able to take in his youth on campus. He tells her that he won't give up and asks if she loves him. She tells him to spare her, but he keeps telling her that she will ruin her life, and is she really happy with that scum? She gets up and tells him that she doesn't know and leaves. He tries to follow her but stops. Later at night when Cheng comes home, her mother asks if she met Hao. He had came earlier today. She says that she is going to take a shower. Both her parents are confused and think maybe Tien bullied her, and usually she is happy to see Hao back. Cheng thinks to herself that Hao was right about ending the relation with Tien, and that you should have accepted his proposal. Cheng thinks she's in love with a playboy. The next day, Cheng is seen going to the office with baggy eyes as she was not able to sleep well. Hao is waiting for her with roses in front of the office. She is shocked to see him there. Hao hands the flowers to her and asks if she's able to dine with him at noon. Just then, Tien appears with his trusty bike and asks what they are doing this early in the morning and is he disturbing a private moment. Cheng is speechless, but Hao asks if he can have a word with him. Tien asks if he knows who she is. Tien thinks to himself that he has guts to chase his fiancé and could have waited until the engagement was off. Hao yells at her and asks that he is her fiancé and what has he done the past year that shows that he deserves her. Tien tells him that it's none of his business and he should stay out of this. Hao tells him that even though he might not have the right to ask him, he can certainly go after M's Cheng. Tien tells him that it's completely her choice. He taunts Hao by saying that she doesn't like him very much. Hao threatens him that he will be sorry as well if he dares to touch M's Cheng. Tien asks him to fight him if he has the guts. M's Cheng tells him to stop all this. Tien asks if she thinks he is fighting for himself and just walks away into the building. M's Cheng feels that she might have done something to upset him and feels uneasy. Hao says that she must dine with him, to which she says that she might not be available and that she is busy now. Cheng goes to meet him and asks if he is angry with her. Tien tells her that he was disappointed, but he can't talk at the moment. She tells him that it's not what he thinks. Tien tells her that it's none of his business, and that he wants to know when she will sign the documents, and that it's her last time coming here, so she should hurry. Shan and Chang leave the office, and Tien taunts Hao for being a guard who waits at the door. Just then, a super-fast car almost runs over Tien. It's the spoiled brat of the Yi family who calls Tien a loser. Hao greets the brat, and the brat is happy to see him Hao as well. The brat asks if Hao is there to date Cheng. Hearing this, Tien seems to leave, but Cheng asks him why he is leaving. He tells her that he has work to do and doesn't want to get in between them. The brat stops him and tells him that he is looking at the next heir of the Yi family and does he have anything to say. Shen doesn't care at all about the future heir and that the Yi family isn't that awesome that you will be upset after being kicked. Tien tells him to convey his message that soon the Yi family will change hands and that they will be under his control. As Cheng thinks that Tien has changed, as he used to hide when he would see Guang before and now he is standing up for himself. Even Hala thinks that Tien is quite competent and that he needs to be careful as well. Guang tells Tien that a loser like him could never do such a thing. Qin tells him that they will soon find out and they all will be thrown outside by this loser as well. He will take everything back and the Yi family will be his. As Cheng is impressed and can't believe that this is actually Tien. Guang says that he is all talk and no show. Guang thinks that he needs to get hold of Hao and make his relations with him strong as well. Hao asks what he meant about that it was her choice. Cheng tells her that she had some work left, so she will be heading back to the office. Guang tells him that he knows what he meant and tells him that he has given her the agreement to sign for breaking their engagement. and that he gave his company to her as well. Guang tells Hao that he can help him date Cheng. Cheng stares out the window and thinks about Tien and what he has been through. She thinks if he really will break off the engagement. Her secretary comes in and tells her to decide already, and that Hao is the best choice for her and she should let go of Tien. She tells him that she will think about it. Tien talks to himself and says that he will clear his name and make the Yi family his, but he couldn't keep his fiance with him. Shen knows that now it's time to go back and be the medicine mage. Later on, everyone is looking at something, and it turns out that Tien has set up a stall that labels that he can cure any disease. He had put up a banner that listed the problems that he can fix and just sits down. Everyone asks various questions like if he can really cure any disease and if he is qualified or not. Tien tells them that he doesn't belong to any hospital as they can't afford his experience. Everyone laughs at him and thinks that he is crazy. Tien says that it's their own choice to avail this service and that he will not force anyone. Meanwhile, Ms. Wang is passing by and notices the crowd and decides to interrogate. She meets Tien and laughs at what he is doing. Tien tells Ms. Wang to mind her business, and if he needed the media's attention, he would have called it. She tells him that she will help as this way he won't get a single patient. She broadcasts Tien on television and asks him a series of questions. Tien knows that someone will recognize his ability. He tells them that whoever thinks less of him are short-sighted themselves. Cheng happens to be seeing the channel and laughs hard and wants to enjoy it even more. At the Yi Mansion, everyone is watching Tien's interview. Tien is showing off and saying various things. Guang tells his dad that it's Tien the loser. Henkai taunts Tien's dad for the act of his bastard son. The Yi family's eldest grandfather is furious about Tien's action and calls him a black sheep. He warns Tien's dad that he knows that he is funding his son secretly and that this needs to stop. Guang adds more fuel to fire by saying that Tien was telling that soon the Yi family will be his and that he will throw them all out. This makes the grandpa even more angry. Guang also tells them about how he's breaking off his engagement with Cheng as well. Tien's dad gets bad that Tien broke off an engagement when he had worked so hard to fix him up with such a great woman. Tien's little sister tells that her brother is doing this for some reason. Their aunt also tells them that Ms. Cheng is also running the business pretty well after Tien gave it away. Ms. Wang tells him that no one is here, and if he still has the same confidence as before. Tien is confident and tells her that things take time. Just then, Derwu finds him again and asks if he has a patient and if he can cure him. Tien tells him as long as he can pay, he will cure them. Everyone is shocked that even Derwu knows him. He is discussing something with Derwu when suddenly a man runs towards him asking if he can cure him. Tien already from afar understood what issues he had and that he was filthy rich. The man asks if anything is wrong with him. Tien tells him all the points that he had and gives him a prescription. The man gives him a check for 100,000, but Tien demands 1 million and the man pays it. Derwu even guarantees the prescription, and Wang is jealous that he made 1 million so quickly. Meanwhile, Cheng watches all the updates and is having fun reading them. Just then, Ho calls her, but she doesn't receive his call. He steps out and approaches her home. Cheng's mom tells him that Hao is here to see him and she agrees to meet him. She goes down and tells him that she was just a bit tired. Her mom tells her that they should go outside for a walk or a movie and have fun. Cheng agrees and they go out for a walk. Hao asks if Tien is the reason for him being so tired. She tells him how she could care about him. Just then, she hears a voice and looks over to see Tien is giving a ride to a small kid on his bike. She can't believe him that this is the same person who used to be a playboy. The girl's mother comes to take her away. Hao notices him too and asks what he is doing here. Chen notices them as well and asks what she wants. Hao tells them that they are dating and he doesn't need to interfere. Chen leaves and tells Cheng that he doesn't mind if she dates anyone else, but that she is still her fiancé, so she should make a decision as soon as possible. Cheng wants to tell him that it's a misunderstanding and wants to explain, but he leaves. She goes home crying. Her parents think they should talk to her. In the morning, she gets up and is late. She wants to get ready for her office and opens her bag only to see the document is missing. She tries to find it, but she can't. Later at the office, she tries to find the document, but she can't. Just then, her secretary comes in and tells her that a woman from the Yi family has come here to ask. Aunt of the Yi family enters and Cheng welcomes her. She shows him a contract and tells her that it only has one condition. If she breaks her engagement with Tien, her company will sign a 300 million deal with them. Cheng doesn't agree and says why she needs her to be involved. She just says that she knows it will break off, but she wants to speed up the process. The aunt warns Miss Cheng to know the pros and cons of this contract. Cheng asks why she wants to do this, and she needs to know the truth. The aunt says isn't she a bit too much concerned with her soon-to-be ex-fiancé? Cheng tells her that it's none of her business and does she want to harm Tien? The aunt leaves by saying that she is a strong woman, but she won't be able to survive. Cheng thinks that something is wrong and she immediately wants to go home and find the papers. She heads out but is stopped by her secretary and two men. She tells them that they are lawyers and wants to meet him. They tell that now, after signing the papers, they are here to entrust the business finally into her hands. She can't believe it and knows that she didn't sign a contract yet, but how is this possible? The lawyer tells him that she has canceled the engagement and by this the entire company has been transferred to her. He shows her the document which has her signature and she can't believe it. She says that this is forgery and that someone is playing them. They tell her that she can send a claim and have a similar handwriting check as well. She runs and wants to find Tien and get to the bottom of this. It is raining, she yells and calls for Tien and falls down. Just then, Ho comes over to help her. Tien sees this and is happy that Cheng has taken the right decision. Tien says that it's over and he can move on. The secretary stops him and asks what he is doing and why he treats her manager like that. Tien says that how is it anything new? Everyone knew this would be the outcome. She asks Tien why he had the agreement even though she had not signed it. Tien tells her that he was sent a signed copy by her, and so he signed them back and approved all this. Shannon says that now what is done and nothing can be done. The secretary smiles and records the whole thing as she knew that everything was a mistake and that his will clarify everything. Chen goes to meet Darwu. Tien tells him that he had agreed to come here if he gets paid, but this place is creeping him out with all the security and guards with guns. He asks who this patient is. Darwu tells him that he can only tell him that his surname is Ning and can't disclose any other details. He also advises Tien to be careful and watch his mouth. Tien enters the room where a kid and a man are waiting for him. Shen has a look at the old man who is sleeping on his bed and asks if this is the Great Master. Darwu tells him that yes, this is him. Tien starts to list down all the symptoms and shocks the man as well that he listed each symptom just by looking. He grabs Tien and asks what his success rate is, to which Tien tells him that it's 70%, but it will cost a lot. Darwu thinks that he is so greedy. The young kid hands him a check of 5 million and Tien immediately grabs his arm and asks him to bring a piece of paper and a pen. He writes all the required medicines and herbs and gives them the prescription and asks the man to boil these herbs and bring a towel along with it. After some time, gets the medicines and dips the towel into it and rubs it over the man. Tien thinks that maybe he will be misunderstood, that this old man needs special treatment. He massages him as well. Later on, he tells him to do this 3 times a day and he will be better in a month or 2. The man takes notes of every step. Tien and Darwu leave. Darwu tells Tien that he is a good man and a great doctor, even better than him. He discusses how his engagement broke off and Tien is amazed that even he got the news this fast and he needs to get to his point quickly. Darwu tells him that he has a granddaughter and asks him to be his grandson-in-law. He asks if she's in good shape. He agrees and would like to meet her. Darwu tells him that he will set up a dinner date with her as soon as she is back. Darwu doesn't want to lose a genius like him and will do anything that's possible. In the night, while Tien is sleeping, he has lewd dreams but suddenly wakes due to knocking on the door. He is pissed that he was dreaming of pretty girls and who disturbed his sleep, and he opens the door to see a pretty girl in a uniform. She tells him to wear some clothes. Tien says that it's his house, he can wear anything he wishes, to which she tells him again to wear his clothes. He denies it and says that hasn't she seen a man like this before? She kicks him to the ground and tells him that if he insults her again, she will not spare him. Shin is hurt and can't believe it and just wants to have fun with the girl. The girl tells him to shut up. Tien tries to close the door, but she grabs hold of it and doesn't let go. They struggle at the door and Tien says that she is strong like a bull. The girl kicks him again and tells him to watch his mouth. Tien is hurt again and tells her that she can kill him if she has the guts. She runs towards him and hits him in the face with her knee and treats him like a punching bag. Shin can't believe that she beat him like that. She tells him again to stop with the nonsense. Kang gets up again, but she punches him in the gut, but he still acts as if he is not scared. She asks him if he thinks she can't kill him. He tells her if she can kill him, it's fine, but if he gets his hands on her, she will be paraded in front of the crowd naked. She asks about her grandpa and that is he's sure about his treatment. He now understands that she is that old man's granddaughter. He tells her that now he won't cure her grandpa, so she points a gun at him and tells him to follow her. She throws him in the van and takes him to see her grandpa. He rushes in and tells the man that he can't do anything for the man's illness. He asks him why he changed his decision and how come there are bruises on his face. He tells him that he will do as he pleases, an eye for eye is his way, and now he won't cure this old man. He asks to get him, and the girl replies that she hit him. Her dad asks Siki why she did this, but she labels it as a mistake. Chagan shows the bruises all over his body and tells him even these are a mistake. He tells them that he won't charge them for yesterday either and will return the check. He tells them to find someone better. The man apologizes for her daughter's behavior and asks forgiveness, but Tien tells him that she should be more educated then. The father slaps her daughter. Tien tells them that they can resort to this once he leaves. Siki asks her dad if he can really cure Grandpa. Her dad tells him that even Derwoo speaks highly of him. Siki tells him that she looked into his file and that he is just a bastard of the Yi family and playboy. How can he have medical skills? Her dad tells him that things are not always as they appear and tells her to take care of this business and that she must revert all this to make sure he can cure her grandpa. Back at the office, Chang has brought all her belongings to the office, and the secretary asks what she is doing. She tells him that her mom had signed the papers, and since she found this out, she will never return to that house again and she has rented a house as well. She also asks if she has heard from him, but her secretary tells her that he doesn't have a phone, so it's hard to reach him out. Shin wakes up and recovers but from his last night's adventure and is still pisses at the girl, and once she gets in his hands, she will be as good as dead. He opens the shades and sees a beautiful girl in the building across from him. He says that it's a pity that he doesn't have a telescope with him. Just then another girl appears and Tien thinks those sisters are his type. The young girl spots him and Tien thinks he is busted. They look at him and take off their robes. Tien gets pissed that they are wearing swimsuits underneath, and who does that? The girls laugh at him and show him the middle finger. He gets even more pissed. Tien wants to teach them a lesson and heads out to show them what he's got, but on his way out he runs into Siki again, but ignores her and walks away with her following him each step of the way. He goes to eat some food, but she keeps staring at him there as well. Tien says that he won't fall for her beauty and be seduced. She asks him what he wants, and in return he can help her grandpa. He asks if she will keep following him until he helps the old man. He goes to the bathroom and asks if she can follow him here as well, and she does. He tells her to step as he might spoil her dress. Siki says that she will do anything as long as he cures her grandpa. He laughs as if she will really do such a thing. Siki musters some courage and helps him in an awkward way. She would go to any length as long as she can cure her grandpa. Tien pushes her away and says that is she trying to take advantage of him. Later outside the market, he gets new binoculars and thinks that now he will look at those girls easily. Siki keeps looking at him and he tells her that it is not a crime to look at girls with binoculars. Siki offers him her military telescope, but he declines. She follows him back to his apartment as well. He looks through the window, but he missed the chance to look at the girls. He tries to find some other girls, but sees Siki on the road, who is looking at him with her binoculars as well. Even Tien creeps out that she's keeping an eye on him as well. Later on, Derwoo examines her grandpa, and her father asks if she was able to persuade him. Derwoo tells him that he is worse than before as he needs the massage from Tien. The father asks if he had a special technique, and Derwoo tells him that Tien has special techniques and that he can cure him. But if this goes on longer, then he will be in an even worse condition. Siki doesn't know what to do. Shin goes to visit Lei Wan at her university as her class must have started by now. He thinks that he hasn't seen her in so long and that he would love to see how she has changed. He asked a few different people if they know where Lei Wan is. Some ignore him. Some tell him to get lost. He asked a fat guy about her and he tells him that he can't date the prettiest girl on campus by riding an old bike. He sets off to find her, and an hour later he finally finds her. She greets him and asks what he has been up to. He tells her to call her bro, and she tells him that isn't happening because he will take advantage of her. Tien looks at her and thinks that she has grown in this short time and her bosom is quite big now. She tells him why he'd brought an old bike. He could have at least gotten an e-bike. He plays dumb and says that he has nowhere to go and he should stay with her at her dorm tonight. She thinks about the poor guy and allows him to stay at her dorm. He goes to her dorm room and thinks of her room as pretty nice and secretly thinks how naive of her to let him in. She tells him to behave himself. He compliments her and says that she is wearing some pretty good perfume, but then taunts her that her body smells better than perfume. Lei Wan tells him to shut up. Tien asks that he actually came to check on her snake bite and that usually the last session is the longest. She tells him that no way in hell is she letting him do that again as he used to take advantage of her. He tells her to come and sit down and let him take a look before any of her roommates find them. She tells him that she searched it and there is no such thing related to snake bites. Tien thinks that she has become smart. Lei Wan tells him that her bosom has grown too big and everyone on campus teases her and asks if she got implants from abroad. Tien tells her that the real thing is the massage, not the medicine. She tells him that a message is fine by her. Tien asks why the scissors, and she happily tells him that if he has any funny ideas, she can use to cut it off easily. Tien is a bit worried but asks her to start. He massages her and asks if it hurts. He tells her that he needs to put more force and she allows it. He tells her to bear with it but she can't hold it in. He tries to get some ideas but remembers the scissors and quickly rethinks his options. Just then her roommates enter the room seeing Tien and Lei Wan in such a position. Lei Wan punches him and explains that it is not what it seems like. They go back saying that they should have knocked and they can go back to what they were doing. She pulls them back in and says that she will tell them how her bosom became so big. They quickly tell her that her boyfriend is awesome and that how many times does he massage them. She tells them that he's not her boyfriend, but a doctor who helps in making bosoms bigger and that he made her bigger as well. They are amazed and ask how he could have made them so big in just a few holidays. They ask how much it would cost and that he is an awesome doctor. He asks if he wants them to rub theirs as well. Lai Wan tells them that they already have a big bosom and making them bigger would scare people away. Her friend tells her that if she is jealous. Tien introduces himself and says that he is Li Wan's acquaintance. They introduce themselves as well and decide to call them Brother Yi. One of her friends asks how he does this by medicine. If so, then they can make a fortune with this. Tien thinks of this as an opportunity but knows that it is not the right time at the moment. Len Wan thinks of the idea of how Tien would be a doctor for making bosoms bigger, but she doesn't agree. Everyone look at Lai Wan and she changes her story that students have to focus on their studies and business can wait. All of her friends know that she is jealous. Tien thanks them for the advice but tells them that he is not in the mood for that at the moment. One of her friends tries to seduce him and says that she can manage all the things and that they should discuss this over dinner. Tien says that it would be better if it was his treat as she won't give up anytime soon. They all head to an expensive restaurant. Her friends think that Tien is quite a rich man. On their way, a girl happens to see Tien and thinks that what is he doing here of all places? They all sit down to eat and the girls are amazed to see such amazing dishes. Li Wan asks why he ordered so many dishes. Even the girls tell him that these are too many and it will be a waste of food. He tells them that it's fine and he can afford it. They all are confused and think that all these might cost thousands. Shen asks Li Wan about the old man. She tells him that he is doing fine and that he doesn't go fishing as he can't pull the net anymore. He tells him that don't let him fish and he will go with her back to the village and teach him how to farm fish and that he will take care of it. The girl asks him if he took into consideration her proposal and he tells her that it also has a special massage as well and that the medicine isn't the only thing in the procedure and if the massage is done wrong people might get hurt and that's why not just anyone can do the massage. Just then the door opens and a young girl calls her Tien brother. All the girls are shocked that Fikiao called her brother, but she belongs to the Yi family, meaning even Tien is related to the Yi family. He asks what she is doing here, and she tells that she saw him and wanted to join them for dinner. He tells her that he does mind her, that she will be a joy kill. Lai Wan stands up and says no she won't be. She yells at him for being rude to her sister. Tien asks her the real reason for her being here and not to waste his time. She asks him to come home and that not every member of the family is bad. His parents are eager to meet him and that they are biologically related, so she is her sister. Tien says that he has nothing to do with the Yi family and that not to disturb them as they are having dinner. She gives him her number and tells him to call him if needs anything as she leaves. Tien thinks for a while, but just then some people barge in saying who had the guts to invite his girl to dinner and demands to see Li Wan. That is all for today. Remember to comment and like to keep this series going.